In Villainous, players play as Disney villains, trying to carry out their nefarious schemes before one another. Each player will play as one villain, who has its own victory condition. For example, Prince John needs to start their turn with at least 20 power in order to win the game. Whereas, if you're playing as Maleficent, you need to start your turn with a curse at each location on your board. Each character in Villainous has a different way to win, and you're just trying to win faster than each of the other players, while slowing them down at the same time. In Villainous, players will take turns. On your turn, you will move your villain marker to a different location than it started on your player board. After that, you get to take any and all of the actions represented by these icons on your board in any order that you like. Let's talk about what some of those actions are. This symbol, with the circle with a number inside of it, allows you to gather power. Power is represented by these tokens, and is used during the game to do things like play cards from your hand, or, in the case of Prince John, win the game. This symbol allows you to play a card from your hand. Players will start the game with a hand of cards. Each of these cards will have a cost in the top left corner. When an action allows you to play a card, you can choose a card from your hand, pay the cost noted in the top left corner of that card, and then put that card underneath any of the locations on your player board. Some cards are effects. When you play in a card with an effect, read the text on that card, do what it says, and then place that card into your discard pile. Cards that are items, or allies, will get played onto your board underneath locations on your player board. Some cards are conditions that can only be played during other players' turns if certain conditions are met. Some special items must be attached to an ally in order for you to play them. In this case, you need to have an ally that is already in play, and when you play that item, you will place that item underneath the ally to indicate that they kind of work together. This action will allow you to move an item or ally that you have already played. Simply choose an ally and move them left or right to a different location. Some icons will allow you to discard cards from your hand, as many as you like. This might sound bad, but the reason you do this is because at the end of your turn, once you've taken as many actions as you like, is you get to draw cards back up from your deck up to a maximum of 4 in your hand. This frees up your hand from cards that you may want to play and lets you draw more stuff from your deck that you might like a little bit better. This is the Fate action. This is an action that allows you to meddle with your opponent's plans. In addition to each player having their own villain deck, each player will also have a Fate deck. When you take a Fate action, you will choose another player in the game and draw 2 cards from their Fate deck, revealing them to everyone and choosing one of which to play. Take that card and place it on the top of one of the locations on that player's player board, covering up the top 2 actions on that location. Now, when that player moves to that location, they only have access to the bottom uncovered actions. Players can vanquish heroes that are on their player board by taking the Vanquish action. Now, in order to do this, a player needs to have allies that they have also played to that same location. So, for example, if Maleficent wanted to vanquish the guards at Briar Rose's cottage, she would need to have at least 3 strength worth of allies at the same location. The guard's strength is 3. When she takes the Vanquish action, she'll discard the guards as well as a number of allies whose total strength adds up to 3 or more. In this case, she would have to discard the Savage Goon from this location because the Cackling Goon doesn't have enough strength. Certain actions will allow players to activate cards that they have already played. Certain items or allies that you have in play may have abilities that only work when you activate them, and you only activate them when you take an action that allows you to do so. That's one turn in Villainous. Again, move your marker to a different location, take as many uncovered actions as you would like at that location in any order that you like, and then draw back up to 4 cards if you don't already have 4 cards in your hand. Keep taking turns with the other players until one of you achieves your goal. And once you do, you win the game.